I got to add my own stream. No, well, I'm learning. Hopefully, you could hear what I was saying. If not, welcome. Welcome to Learn What You're Doing by Brutal Experience. So, we have some new technology tonight we're going to try out. I hope y'all can hear me. The audio seems to be working. We have the mic on, adjusted. What is shift 5? News layout. That could be helpful. News layout. Well, I guess I can. L will do next layout. Let's see how that works. L. Gotta hit enter, did you? This must be the news layout, I bet. Yeah. Okay. All right. Let's see how the CPU. It's holding up pretty well. Okay. Nobody's watching, but we're live on YouTube, so that's cool. So, I'm gonna get the things I have to show you. I'll be right back. Hi, Molly. You want to say hi to the internet people? Yeah. You got the blues, Molly? All right. We got to figure out how to do that as well here eventually. So I am going to start trying to figure out how to do all this stuff. Now I get why they let people come in. Let people come in. So let's turn on some lights. See if I look any better that way. Ooh, that's pretty bright light. A lot of light there. How about this light? That's kind of interesting. Chas is on camera. Too late. Okay. It looks okay. It's dark in here. I have this big white light back here, and I'm going to plug it in and see what it looks like. And I'm going to show you guys the other thing that I have for tonight. Okay. Let's see here. What's that? You want that straw? You need more apple juice? Ooh, you just got apple juice all over the place. Well, don't click that mouse. You want apple juice? You come in there, I'll get you some. You guys want some apple juice? Would you like some? Let's go get you some. Daddy's still got to find his cable. I don't know where I put it. Okay. So no one is watching still. Oh, there's one person watching. Oh my goodness. There's one person watching. Okay. Welcome. Now might be a boring first part of the stream, but the interesting part is this. I have gathered new materials. Okay. We have a Cat 8 cable. Interesting. And I'm a weirdo that's superstitious. So I also found the exact same cat cable, but it's orange. And orange is my favorite color. I heard somewhere that people with ADD like orange. I don't know. Thing is, though, now that I have them both, this cable is really thin. It's not very well made. I like that it's orange, but it's not a very good made cable. And the point of a cable is to carry a signal. And this one seems a lot thicker. Better off. Okay. So I don't know. I'm just trying this out. When I listen back, I'm going to see if Elsa and Anna dolls in the background are very audible. If they are, we'll shut those off. But, oh well. So, what I'm going to do, I can't see. Before it would show me my Wi-Fi signal, and it's not anymore. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep going on the stream. And I'm going to leave it up because I know if I start deleting these, I will just stop. Because it's never going to be perfect. And we're going to learn by doing. So I got a flat one of these. And I am going to run it back underneath the carpet. Oh, now we got the little Wi-Fi signal. Now it's telling me if you're on Wi-Fi, try plugging into your router or moving closer to it. The little thing went away, but I'm glad it was there because now I know what to do. So that's the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to run this cable. And it sounded boring to do it by myself. So I figured I'd hit the live button and do it with you. So we're going to do it together. And then, sorry, Amazon, this cable is not the quality that I wanted. I hope Mr. Bezos can afford it. I'm going to go ahead and send it back to you, Jeff. You can send it back to China because they made both these cables. We don't make anything in America anymore. Okay? Okay. And then I think I will experiment a little bit with the lighting in here and see what I can do. If anybody's here in an hour, my idea is I will put a link out and see if anybody wants to talk to me. Yes, Bug. Huh? You want to say hi to people? Can they see you? Hi, people. You say hi to them? Hi, people. Hi, people. Can you say hi, people?
Hi.
That's nice. They'll like you. Mm. You know, people talk bad when people's kids are on their YouTube videos, but I'm a family man that lives in a not very large apartment. If I'm gonna stream, my kids are gonna be around. So I could go hide off in a corner somewhere. I don't feel like that'd be a very good dad. So we're just gonna hope everything's above board and it keeps going that way. Sophie is a little streak sometimes, so if that happens, we're definitely gonna have to delete the video. But hopefully, you keep your clothes on. I love you.
I can have a
Microphone.
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 What's that?
Oh, don't pull on it too much. Don't pull on it too much. Whoa! Look at you, bud. Look at you go. You like being on camera? You like seeing yourself? Okay. So, I'm going to start running this cable, sweetie. I'm going to put you down. All right? And you're watching an upgrade live on camera here. Okay? It's a Cat 8 cable. It's probably way faster than I actually need. But I figured it's better to have one that's too fast than not fast enough. You know what I mean? So, I am going to plug this in while I'm streaming. Actually, first, we're going to do something else. Before I do that, we're going to do something else. Every night, for those of you that know me, I check the charts every night. Just like the LCD Sound System song. You check the charts. I might put that. I don't know if I can play that song. I don't make any money anyway. It doesn't matter. I'll try to figure out how to play that song. Check the charts. One person came in and then they left. What kind of loyalty is that? I appreciate it, even though you stopped by for 2 seconds. So here's how it works. Okay, I'm going to show you. I'm going to share screen. Screen sharing is easiest with two monitors. Well, guess what, computer? I guess I do have two monitors, but it's a Thunderbolt monitor and my laptop's back there. So that's not really going to work. Screen sharing works best on a good computer. What is a good computer? You know, some screens let you share audio. Look for share audio checkbox on the next window. Follow these steps to share a video with audio. Okay. We might try that. We'll see. But for right now, I am going to share a Brave tab. I'm going to share this, and we're going to watch. We are going to look at the charts. So every night, this is what I do. I check two charts. All right. The first one, I check Avalanche USDT. Okay. And I use the Ichimoku indicator. So I'll make that big so you can see it. This is the Ichimoku indicator. All right. The Ichimoku indicator is comprised of a few different parts. This blue line here is a 9-day average of the price. This gray line here is a 26-day average of the price. Okay. This line here is, I believe, the price. It's either 26 or 52 days ago pushed forward. I can't remember. Maybe if we zoom out, we can see. Yeah, let's see how long that is. I think it's 26. So It has something to do with like the high and low of that range pushed out 26 days in the future. So that creates the cloud. And Ichimoku is Japanese for one glance. So you can take one glance at this chart and tell, is it going up? Is it going down? But when you enter a trade, there's a few things you want to know. Like right here is the short. So 9 day below 26. Okay. On the average, the price is below the cloud and the trailing line is below the cloud. If all those things are true, you short. So you go short right there. The opposite is true on the other edge. So it's got real busy right here, but you can see the price was outside of the cloud, right in here, trailing lines above, and it takes you all the way up here. It did really good back here, but you just watch it each day. I've tested different time frames, and I think the easiest to follow is the daily chart. So each of these candles close at 7 o'clock when daylight savings time. I think it goes back to 6 o'clock. But as you can see, this chart here has the trailing line closed up inside the cloud yesterday. So we are going to cover this short. Okay. So I like to do this on my phone. It's a simpler than opening up another tab. So the trailing line, which is the price today, put 26 days in the past, I believe. Yeah. And that's just the final indicator of the Ichimoku that tells you, is this momentum moving with you or against you? So it's kind of in the middle now. And in the past, I always feel better if I follow the system religiously and I don't make any, well, I feel like it's going to do that. I feel like it. Nope. You follow the system religiously. These are the rules of the trading tribe from Ed Seikoda. I don't know if you can see that, but one of his rules is stick to the system. Ed turned, I believe, something like 60 grand into like $80 million. So we're going to go ahead and take Ed's advice here. Ride your winners, cut your losers, manage your risk, use the stops, stick to the system, and file the news. Okay? Ride your winners means if it's going up, you do not sell it, no matter how high it gets. Cut your losses means if you're losing money, get out. I always use stops, as it says, so I get out after 10% stop loss, and that is managing my risk. Okay? I stick to the system, which is what I'm showing you right now, that I'm going to cover this short because the trailing line, the purple line, closed inside the cloud. And file the news means don't listen to anything they say on the news. He gives some example of how, like, if you look at oil prices, the trading tribe, thank you, Ed. If you look at oil prices, like a cover of Time magazine, it'll always say, is oil about to hit a new high? And it's already hit the high every single time. The news is always late. The technical indicators are always ahead of the game. So we are not in a clear short right now. If it drops down here tomorrow, we'll be back. We'll short it again. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to open up my trading app on my phone, the Marxist-Leninist Trading Club. That's what we're doing here. You're not going to make any money working in capitalism. That is for sure. You make money in capitalism by trading capital. Let's see if I can just stop screen sharing. Can I just do that? I wonder if I can share that and then like turn it off and back on. Let's try that. Learn by doing. Learn by doing. Yep, that works. Mm-hmm. Okay, and then can I just go back to this? Yes, I can. And it's still sharing if I want. I can go back to that. Look. Look at that. Beautiful, beautiful. There's different ways you can do it. Ah, what about that? Oh, that's even better. I kind of like that. All the way. Picture in picture. Can I move this around? Nope. Nope, you can't. Not on StreamYard. Or if you can, I don't know how. I've seen other people just grab that and like move that little video down there, but they must be using something else. Okay. So I pull up my app on this old phone. This is all I use it for anymore. I'm going to go in and I'm going to cancel my stop limit order that I had put in. Hearing some buzz in my speakers feedback. But I looked at buying balanced XLR and I heard all XLR cables balanced. So I don't know if that is coming from somewhere else, but we will see when I listen back if it is on the stream. I can see that my Wi-Fi is pooping out, which we will fix in a minute as soon as I want to do this fast so I can get that done. Cancel. So that's canceled. And then I need to pay back a certain amount of Avalanche. So I'm going to buy just a little bit more than I need to pay back. And I'm going to buy it back at market. So buy at market. Now I'll buy at a limit so I can get the right amount. Buy a little bit higher than they're asking for. That should do it. Let's buy that back. Let's see, buy, confirm. And I believe I did it. So let's see if I can pay it back, repay. And I can. Repay. So my short is covered. I'm back in cash. I paid back the exchange, what I needed to pay back. I have a little extra that I don't want anymore. So I'm going to hit sell. There's just fractions of an AVAX. We're going to hit market. And we're going to go over and sell that at market. So now my short is covered and I am totally back in cash. Let's make sure. Yep. All back in cash. There's nothing I owe. So that's taken care of. And now we will look at the other one. Spot. And so that's 80% of my capital is the one I just showed you. Now, to go back into that completely, let's see, find the best view here. And we'll do it like that. I like that. You can't really see it. Let's do it all the way. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to open this tab up. And then, so that's 80% of my capital. 20% of the capital I put into this. This is the system I use. In the filters, I use the exchange I use. And then I make sure the price is above the cloud. That's the Ichimoku leading span B. And the conversion line is above the baseline. That means the 9-day average is above the 26. So I put those in. And then I will rate them up and down by the ADX. Now what the ADX is the average directional index. It tells you how fast a market is moving in a particular direction. So you can see the ADX right here. It's the red line. If the ADX is above 25, it is in a trending market. according to the guy that made this up, Wells Wilder. So you would go short right here, according to the ADX. You wait until it gets above 25, which it did right there. The negative is above the positive. That means the orange is above the blue. So the ADX told you to go short right here. I used the ADX to rank all of the different cryptos that I could trade potentially on the exchange, but I don't like to use it to enter trades, mainly because it works exactly like the Ichimoku almost. They're both trend indicators, and the Ichimoku told you to short right here, and it's very clear to see it. You don't have to be like, is it 25 on it? You can just look at this and be like, oh, yep, time to go short. But where the ADX is very helpful, I don't know how to turn off just the orange and the blue there. But just consider the red. That's the ADX there. The orange and the blue are the DMI plus and DMI minus, and they're not important in this case. There is a way I can turn them off like this. There you go. So now you see the ADX. And to be trending, it needs to be above 25. So let's find 25 there. Option H. It's not exactly 25, but it's pretty damn close. So you can see it's trending there. And we're just using that because it's a way to look at every crypto and rank them by how fast they're moving according to the ADX. So these go down to 25. So a lot of trending ones. To cut out the BS, I just put it in the one that's trending the most, which is right here. It's still Rocket Pool. So we click that. Rocket Pool. It's breaking out. You can see the 9 days above the 26th day. The trailing line is above the cloud and above price. So, and it's the highest, fastest moving stock on the exchange. So we're going to stick with that one with the 20% of our capital. Okay. It's important when doing this. It's important that you're fine with losing some money. If you're not willing to lose money, you will never make money. But you manage your risk and you cut your losers quickly. So for me, on both systems, anytime I enter into a trade, I set a 10% stop loss. And sometimes I'll lose 10% over and over again. And then if you keep at it, you'll eventually hit maybe 1,000% return. And that's the Ed Seikoda song, right? What's he say? One good win pays for them all. I love Ed Seikoda. If you're interested in trading, I would highly recommend one interview. If you only read one, it is by it was in Market Wizards, and it is with Ed Seikoda. And I'm going to figure out a way to share that PDF. Let's see. Let's try it. Put PDF at the end. There we go. Okay. So I'm going to share a different, let's see if I can share a different tab. Share screen. Share Brave tab. Market Wizards. This is it. This is the book. So, Ed Seikoda is on page 76. Let's see if I can go to page 76. We'll just look for Ed Seikoda. these are other people just talking about Ed Seykota. I think that was Michael Marcus. I really related to that interview for a while, because Michael, when uh, he started out with $1,000, and he was able to flip it. Here he's at 30,000. Now he's at 50. Um, but he made a ton of money and then he lost it all. And he talks about taking like some sort of anxiety pill and just wanting to die. But he came back and made it happen. Started out with a PhD. He did not make his money with his PhD. I think Michael would be the first to tell you that. I lost my own 30,000 plus 12,000 and the 20,000 my mother had lent me. That was my lesson in betting my whole wad. There you go. Ed Seykota was the person that trained Michael. I kept seeing all these traders be like, "You should learn from Ed. Ed's always in the trade. Ed trades the trend." And then you read the Ed interview, and it was the worst 2 weeks of my whole life. I was on the verge of being wiped out. Um, Everything was going up. It's kind of like crypto. He's talking about a commodities market in the 70s, I think it was. Um, are you talking about Ed? Trying to see the part where he just got sick to his stomach and wanted to quit. Oh yeah, here it is. Here he takes it. So I think the way the commodities markets work, I've never used them. I like crypto because I can buy and sell any time of the day, but evidently other markets, they work like they're open sometimes and they're not open other times. It seems like madness to me. Uh, but yeah, right here, he was so stressed out that he took Thorazine and missed work the next day. But he didn't give up. He got back into it and he became one of the greatest traders of all time. And that's why he's in this book. So, I don't know how much I think it probably says at the beginning how much he was trading when this book was written. So it doesn't really say. Just, it's a lot. It's multi-millions of dollars. And you could be like, why are you so into trading as like a Marxist? Well, those two things are. I mean, I heard Michael Hudson say that once. He said like all the people on Wall Street read Marx because they know what's. He's got their number, man. I was out 2,000 million. So, as you can see, things get a little bigger there as it goes on. Here's Ed Seykota, though. Everybody gets what they want. Read this interview. Have your mind blown. It's one of the greatest things. It made me realize that trading is just like it's the Dow in money. Uh, it's up and down. I feel like it's just marking out human psychology. It's like birds, and when you watch birds fly, you can be like, oh, yeah, there's obviously some sort of order behind that, you know? And I think money's the same thing, except money is humans trading things. So there's his rules: cut losses, ride winners, keep bets small, follow the rules without question, no one to break the rules. I don't know what he has up there that he has on this card. What cut losses, ride winners, manage your risk. I guess that's keep bets small. He doesn't have use stops on there. Stick to the system. That's follow the rules without question. Know when to break the rules. He doesn't have that on here. Um, but yeah, Ed turned. I believe he turned 64,000 into $80 million. When you made your first million. That's what we all want, right? That's what we all want. There's a great deal of serious wisdom. For me personally, the most striking comment was everybody gets what they want out of the market. Everybody gets what they want. And I've traded this in and out for 5 years, and I would say it's true. I think the hardest part is when you start making real money, it freaks you out, especially if you were raised in poverty or close to it. For me, I had to face, and I'm still working through it. I think the best way to make money trading is to get a good psychiatrist, a good psychoanalyst. Because for like me, if you were raised in church, if you start trading the market and making more money than people around you will make in 20 years of hard day's work, it messes with you. It messes with you. Or it did with me. Because why me? Because I figured out when to hit buy and sell. I figured out how to trade a chart. And I've really thought through this. I guess everyone could there you go. Total disaster, Western left. I didn't know. Hey, it's good to have you, Total Disaster. Amen. I like this. I'm gonna share some of these comments with the people, if that's okay. I'm an orthodox ML. I invest in the stock market because I want to live comfortably, be as self-reliant as possible, and not live in poverty. Western leftists think poverty is romantic. I know for me, it had to do with being raised Southern Baptist. I mean, that's why I read. If you guys watched that book I read by Wallace Wattles, Jesus, the Man and His Work. I don't think Jesus. Well, if you're going to be a Christian, you know, it's just hard for me to understand that if you take it seriously as a kid, you kind of feel like, I guess if Jesus was poor, I have to be poor too to be good. I don't think that was true. The more I think about it, the less I think that's true. I think if Jesus was poor, that was his choice, and it's your choice too. And you don't have to be poor to be a good person. You don't. Caleb Maupin has a great book. I think it was Getting Rich with Socialism. Once that clicked in my head, like the Deng Xiaoping quote, let's look on the screen. Dang, to be rich is glorious. Put it up. When I saw this quote and I saw what China is doing, it made me realize that this is what I wanted. That this was what I wanted. And I'll show you. Here we go. Streamlabs is nice. It makes it very simple, but I feel it could be quicker. I feel there's it could definitely be quicker. Poverty is not socialism. To be rich is glorious, says the successor to Mao. And China's proving that, aren't they? That's a pretty one. Nice. Nice background. To get rich is glorious. Deng Xiaoping. I love that. That's romantic to me. Amen, brother. Every worker deserves to be a king. Amen. That's the thing is nobody wants to be broke. I don't want anybody to be broke, but that was kind of my how I split the baby. You know, whatever I made from trading, I will tithe 10%, just like the Bible says, to the socialist organization of my choice, whether it be CPI 2.0, CPUSA. If we had a real communist party in this country, that would be nice. Because I think Haas talked about it. Even in China, you want to go to Shenzhen, you want to go to Hong Kong, you want to try to play the market, you can, but that's not the basis of the economy. The basis of the economy is making things better off for everybody. Dude, I do the exact same. I do the exact same because there's no other freedom in capitalism other than having capital. You're not going to work your way to freedom. I tell I tell the kids I teach, I go, I want you to think. What worker got paid the most last year in the whole country? You know, was it a brain surgeon, let's say? What do you make? $500,000? Hey, it's Sloan. Welcome. $500,000, let's say. How much did Warren Buffett make last year? You know what I mean? You picking up what I'm laying down, people? It was a lot more than $500,000. Is whatever he did a lot more important than brain surgery? I don't think so. But I got one little lamp back here. That looks kind of weird. I kind of like the way it looks. I like the warm kind of tones. I have a very big lamp that I was going to try to put on here. Um, I like this. I like your first comment. This kind of sums it up. Self-reliance, Ralph Waldo Emerson, one of my favorite essays. Wonderful. I'm glad some people are here. I tell you what, if you guys want to chill, you can chill. If you need to go, I understand. There's lots of things to watch on the YouTubes. But I'm just kind of doing this as a learn by doing exercise. I didn't have the best day. I'll be honest. I had a rough day. Um, I don't want to go into all the details. I have a public job, uh, but I really like doing this, and I don't know. I want to do both. So I bought this Cat 8 cable, and I'm gonna hook it up to my router, so you guys can chill, or you can go somewhere else. I'm gonna put on a song. I'm gonna try to do that. We checked the charts tonight, and every time I say that, check the charts, it always reminds me of LCD Sound Systems. I think it's All My Friends is the name of the song. All My Friends. That's crazy. It shows me. It shows that I'm streaming. That's so weird. All My Friends LCD Sound System. I'm gonna put the song on and jam with y'all while I try to run this cord. So let's see if I can figure out how to share a tab with sounds. Share. I will tell you guys, I got some cool interviews lined up down the line, but I want to get 10 live streams in before I try to do like a serious interview. I don't want the tech to be screwed up. I don't want it to look nice. I did notice most of the people I watch, they stream in 720p. This old Thunderbolt monitor has a 720p camera, so maybe I can get a better camera, but I think maybe I can get it looking decent with some lighting and I don't know. I don't know how much of an advantage it would be to have a better camera. I get it. Total disaster said protect your privacy, man. I mean I get it. I get it. But for me, protecting my privacy is not doing this. You know what I mean? That's really protecting my privacy. Is you never see me again. You know? I just go off in the woods. Um and you never see me again. So, I know there's crazy people out there that do crazy things. I'm making peace with it, man. I'm going to be me, you know? I don't know if that's being based. I don't know if it's being brave. I don't know if it's being stupid. But I'm just sick of hiding anymore. Johnny Blaze. Johnny Blaze. I don't know. Everybody knew who Mal was, but he was still able to hide out in that cave. But I get both sides of the coin, guys, and I appreciate that. What did Total Disaster say? Stalin said, "What freedom does someone have if they are unemployed and have no money in the bank?" Amen, brother. Amen. It's that negative liberty versus positive liberty. I've learned so much just by teaching school, and I use it as an excuse to teach myself things I want to learn. And I dug into, I think it was Locke was the main philosopher behind negative liberty, which is like America. Don't take my guns, get off my land. Negative liberty. Positive liberty is thank you, Johnny. I love these comments. Positive liberty is we're gonna take care of each other. You know, we're gonna make sure you have a job that pays you decent. We're gonna make sure you can go to a good school, have health care, things like that. That's positive liberty. Because if you don't have those things, you're not really free. You're free to die under the bridge, you know, but you're not free to live. Not really. Um how does my audio sound okay, guys? I hear a little crackle. There's a little electricity in these speakers somewhere, but hopefully it sounds okay. Um freedom from what? That's right, brother. Freedom from what? Yeah, the audio looks okay. I got automatically adjust audio. So you guys can chill if you want to. It'll probably take me maybe 5 minutes to run this cable, and I'm gonna try to play this song to jam because we checked the charts tonight. Let's see if I can make it work. Share screen. Share Brave tab. Here we go. Let's click it. So tell me if you guys can hear it. Can you hear the song? Audio sounds good. I'm using awesome. I'm using this is just StreamYard. I literally set it up in 5 minutes and hit go. So awesome. I'm gonna crank it. I'm gonna just jam and I'm gonna hook up this cable while this song rolls. All right. I love y'all. See you in 5 minutes. There it is. There it is. That's how it starts. See, I'm gonna start playing we go back to your house. I'm gonna start playing and then I won't hook up this cable. You check the charts and start to figure it out. This is fun. All right, I'm gonna hook up this cable.
But if you're worried about the weather, then you pick the wrong place to stay.
All right.
That's how it starts. And so it starts.
For all my CPI friends. Man, this cable's
Especially
long.
getting Jan on. We set controls for the heart of the sun. One of the ways that we show our age. And if the sun comes up, if the sun comes up, if the sun comes up, and I still don't want to stand at home. Then it's the memory of our letters that are keeping us on our feet. You spent the first 5 years trying to get with the plan, and the next 5 years trying to be with your friends again. You're talking 45 turns just as fast as you can. Yeah, I know it gets tired, but it's better when we pretend. It comes apart. The way it does in bad films. Except the part where the moral kicks in. When we're running out of the drugs and the conversation's grinding away. I wouldn't trade one stupid decision for another 5 years of life. Oh, you drop the first 10 years just as fast as you can, and the next 10 people who are trying to be polite. When you're going 85 days in the middle of France, yeah, I know it gets tired on the wearing your friends tonight. To tell the truth, oh, this could be the last time. So here we go, like the sails force into the night. If I made a fool, if I made a fool, if I made a fool on the road, there's always this. And if I'm sued into submission, I can still come home to this. And with a face like a tag and a laughable stand, you can sleep on the plane or review what you said. When you're drunk and the kid's looking possibly dead, you think over and over, hey, I'm finally dead. Oh, if the trip and the plan come apart in your hand, you can turn it on yourself, you're ridiculous.
boy. Thank you, LCD Sound System. And here's the thing, brothers. I'll explain to you what's going on here. See if this beast plugs in correctly. Oh, I don't want to play it again. Oh. Okay. We're plugged in. Okay, let's see if that works. No more. All right. I don't know. Let's see. Let's see. I'm still on Wi-Fi. Open network preferences. Ethernet connected. Okay. So, I think we're Ethernet connected. I could turn the Wi-Fi off, but I'm afraid I'd lose my whole stream. It'll be interesting to see if my little Wi-Fi doesn't come up anymore. I kind of don't think it will. I really like listening to music. I know that demonetizes your stream, but I can't even monetize my stream yet anyway. That was nice. Let me catch up on these comments, guys. Cool remix of Bob O'Reilly. It was kind of like that, wasn't it? Yeah, you know, I don't know how old you are, Total Disaster. Judging by what you were saying, I feel like I don't know, I'm afraid to guess. I don't want to guess, but I feel like you're in your 30s. I feel. Haas last night, or last stream he did, was talking really bad on the millennials, and I'm like, he nails this in a lot of ways, but the more I read of this, the more funny it is. Oh, okay. You might be onto something there, Total Disaster. Damn straight he did, and I don't think you heard the last of him either, brother. I don't think you heard the last of him. Yep. Oh, well, look at that. You know, I knew you were mature. I kind of felt like you were. I just can tell. I don't know. Dope, man. I love that. I love that. I hope you don't mind if I put that up there, but it kind of makes it come full circle. Vosh, Bad Burrito. Did you just get a bath? I'm not exploiting my children for YouTube clicks. They just wander in, you know? They want to be a part of the operation. Yeah, I'm 35, Total Disaster, so I think it's cool that we're all here though. You know, we're all different ages and coming together under the same banner. I had some craziness happen today. I won't give any specifics, but I'm trying to think of how to even say it. I don't even know if I should. Anyway, I talked to a parent, and they very religious, and they told me that that they moved here from the West Coast, and on the West Coast they teach Karl Marx in the classroom, and that Karl Marx is an outright literal Satanist. The contradictions. I know communists disdain to hide their views, but they also disdain to lose their job. Um, I would say. Hello, squish, 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 squish. We've brought a Minnie Mouse into the operation. So I tell you what, guys. I rambled for an hour. I got. I got. There's one other thing I wanted to check, and then I'm gonna share the link with you guys. And if anybody wants to hop in and talk to me, you're welcome to. Don't feel entitled. But I don't even know how to do like super chats or anything like that yet. Um, I can have 6 people on the screen at once. I think that's going to be more than enough. But I'll put that in there. And I can't do super chat. I don't even know how to do that. I don't know. Let me see if I like look at my own stream. I've never even done that before. Like looked at my own stream on YouTube. Make sure it doesn't have sound. See if I just click live, if I can see myself. I do need a faster computer. When I bought this was the fastest computer you could get, but that was. Oh, I hate to reveal how long ago. A while ago. I'm insecure about the speed of my computer. It's ridiculous. Let's look for my channel and see what it looks like. Just chilling, installing new equipment. Hey, let's look at this. Let's look at this. Oh, can you guys see that? Let's do this. Look at your boy. I remember when this guy was #1 Tyler McConnell on YouTube. I wish you well, other Tyler McConnell. It sounds like you're interested in almost the same stuff as me. But I started squatting in the woods and changed my life. So look at this one. Look how this did yesterday. It's just amazing how these shorts work. I have no idea like how they'll go. And I just make them and some get like 8 views and some get 10,000 and there's really no rationale to it. I don't understand how it works. Let me click this and see if it explodes. I don't know. Let's mute it, mute it, mute it, mute it. Let's see. Can I hear myself? I'm afraid to hear myself. Mute it, mute it. Oh, yep. Haha. I am on YouTube. You know what? I'm going to like this stream. I don't know what that does, but oh, we're seeing it now. Blob, 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 blob. Got it. Let's see. Man, this guy is awesome. He's going places. Well, interesting. Let's go back to this. You're back. Johnny, if you want to talk for a while, you could. You don't have to. Yeah. You don't have to. I know. I remember when I used to watch Caleb and he would do this exact same thing. And then he'd always be like, if there's any weirdos, I'll talk to you. But you gotta show your face. I remember all this. And like a guy'd be he'd be like in the gym, like, you Caleb, I love listening to you, bro. Love from New Jersey, bro. Just want to say hi. And Caleb's like, oh, thank you. Thank you very much. So that was cool. Kind of where I'm at in this stage of my career. I really like to listen to Garland Nixon do these. And I've realized I think Garland is probably on the Myers-Briggs and ENFP. And it kills me that I didn't ask for Garland's number when he spoke at the Chicago CPI conference. Garland's just I was a little starstruck from Garland Nixon, I'll be honest. Um, I was starstruck from Nick Brana. I still am. I love that guy. Um, but listening to Garland's streams, I realize like sometimes my wife will hear how Garland talks, and she's like, "You and Garland share a brain. I swear, you have the same dark, sick sense of humor." Like Garland, a few streams ago, um, he was talking about like what's gonna happen in Europe when the electricity goes off, when they run out of gas, and it just reminded me so much of myself because he's like, "No, I don't want to see that happen," you know. Oh, I'm jealous of that, Johnny. I'm jealous of that. Where's that event at? Probably far away. I've realized that hey, we will, brother. We will. You just wait. And you give it a little bit. I'm gonna keep well, I don't want to spoil it, but rest assured, we're gonna do it. DC, Department of Justice. Well, I guess I hope on the outside, you know. Oh, Assange. You know, Assange reminds me of that quote from Debs where he said his big speech he gave at the right before the Democrat Woodrow Wilson was about to put him into prison for saying no poor boy should fight a rich man's war. What did he say? As long as any man is in prison, I am not free. And that's how I feel about Assange. That's how I feel about Assange. As long as Assange is in prison, as long as I know in my head what they are doing to Julian Assange in my name, in my country's, my government's name, with my tax dollars, how can you just be okay with that? You're just like, you know, that's what they do to people. That's just how it works. I think it will be all that is being thought through quite deeply, sir. Quite deeply. That's my feelings exactly, Johnny, on old Assange there. I you know, wonder what put this user in timeout. Nope. What can I star a post? What's that do? What does starring a post do? What's it do over here? Does it do anything? No. Okay. I don't know. There's the link to chat if anybody wants to chat. But you guys already know. You guys heard me. You don't have to. I'm just gonna keep talking. My thing is when I watch a live stream, if I'm gonna dedicate time to a live stream, I'm probably gonna do at least 2 hours. If I do less than 2 hours, I feel like I chickened out. I didn't really try. Oh, that's what StreamYard's for. So when you guys' comments come up over here, like you can wonder if I can teach you guys StreamYard while you're here. I'll share StreamYard itself. Let's see how that works. Stop. Share StreamYard itself. StreamYard tab. So now you can see. Oh, anyway, over here to the right, you can see the comments, and then just when you click one, it will show up on the screen. So like, make CPI great again. Shows up on the screen, and then I guess if you guys like send me a super chat or if there's a comment, I was like, ooh, I want to come back to that. Then I can hit the little star here. And then they all show up over here in the starred tab. and I can be like, "Oh yeah, we were going to talk about that thing." So that's kind of interesting. Let me go back to this. I'm dizzy. I know. I'll shut it off. I'm sorry, brother. So, I really want to talk to somebody about what's going on in the Ukraine. So I guess they pushed hard for the media narrative war in Kharkiv. So the all the like let's just look at it. Let's just pretend we're normies for a second. Share screen, share Brave tab, share YouTube. Okay. So we're going to go out of this. Oh, my VPN's on. I probably need to turn that off next time. That'd probably help the stream quality. Although, have you guys noticed any? I think you can run it on your phone, brother. I think you can. I think you can. I haven't tried it yet. Just I have this like Mike, my favorite high school teacher. He he's in a band, and he told me like all this awesome equipment to get when I was like 17, 18. And during my 20s I would save up money and then like buy the next big thing. Like he told me to get this microphone, the Joe Rogan mic. He told me to get it in 2004, I think. And then I started seeing everybody get one. And he had told me before, he's like, "Oh man, you need that mic. That's the microphone Michael Jackson recorded Thriller with. And it'll do everything." A ton of hip hop guys use it. It is the best broadcasting mic, the Shure SM7B. It costs about $600, but it is the best vocal mic for broadcasting. And sure enough, everybody has one. So I saved up. I think I bought it with some of Obama's money in 2012. Thank you, Obama. Thank you, University of Missouri. And then I have some monitors here because I was trying to mix a song and I was trying to show him the song I mixed and it just sounded like crap. And he's like, "You got to invest in some monitors, brother." So I did. I invested in, let's see if I can show you what these look like. I invested in HS80 Yamaha. They look like this. I got two of these. They look like this. They're on either side of me right now. And I have a Yamaha. I think it's an HS10. It is a subwoofer. And I would highly, highly recommend if you guys like music at all, this is it. Why you need the Yamaha HS8S subwoofer. Right there. Dude, if you like any music with bass, oh my god. Oh my god. It is if you got these two and then one of these, whew, son. It makes music so fun to listen to. So fun to listen to. So let's be normies and see what the CIA is trying to push on us today. Let's look at news. Where's news? Explore, maybe? News. DOJ subpoenas. I mean, just open this up just makes me want to vomit in my mouth. It makes me so happy that like no one watches this. Ukrainian offensive pushes back Russian troops. Really? Ukraine reclaims ground from Russia in shocking advance. Really? Really? I don't believe you. I don't believe you. Hey, Bass Blaze. Do you want to talk for a while, man? I guess you joined. Let's talk. Let's talk until we get to well, I'll talk until you don't want to talk anymore. Okay? This is about to get interesting. So let's do it, brother.
Can you hear me?
Hello. I can. Can you hear me?
Oh, sick. What's up,
Yeah,
brother?
dude, I love you, man. I love you.
Hey, here
It's
I
so
am.
good to see you.
I put on a shirt and everything.
Comrade and brother, Johnny Blaze.
All right. Yeah, man. I mean, if you're going to go over developments in Ukraine, I had to jump in.
Yeah, tell
Couldn't
me what's up.
couldn't say
Give
no.
me the update. Be like we're at a party on a Friday night, and I'm like, "Yo, what's going on in the Ukraine, dude? So what is that all? What's that all about?"
Well, let me tell you, Zelensky's a hero.
Okay, we're keeping it
Um,
TOS. I like that.
um, that's a good question, man. I mean, on the face of it, Russia had a humiliating retreat from Izium. And to be honest, I haven't been following the whole thing as closely as I was like in the first, month and a half of the whole special military operation. But I was listening to like the Duran the past few days and some other guys. Maybe I caught like Jackson's take on it and so forth, as well as some more pro Ukraine guys. It's funny how you can spin anything in this war any way,
Amen.
Um, like, yeah, Zelensky can say, well, we pushed out the Russian invaders. We're doing really great. All we need is, 40 billion more dollars of NATO weapons, and we've got this in the bag. But, you know, Alexander was making the point that Russia's retreat did seem somewhat well organized, and someone really pro Russia spinning it said that, you know, the CIA probably saw that Russia was going to abandon Izium anyways because it just wasn't a good territory, wasn't worth anything. They needed guys elsewhere. And so they were like, hey, Zelensky, like move some guys in there and we will paint this as like a triumphant Ukrainian incursion, knowing that Russia is just getting out of there anyways.
Mm.
If that makes sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yeah, I think so. I'm trying to be real careful because I remember last time I did this with Sam, I
Mm-hmm.
felt like me and my wife listened back to it and I felt it. I was like, "Oh no, I'm cutting him off and I feel like an asshole." So I'm trying to be real careful to like there's this like streaming etiquette that I think people
Mm-hmm.
just get used to where you let the other person completely finish and otherwise it might have been because I had a lag, I don't know. But um I just kind of, I feel like something I can contribute to the discourse is I feel like I'm not really a normie. I mean, I have a lot of knowledge in my head, but I also feel kind of like a normie. Like I feel like what town did you say? You know what I mean? I'm like, how do you spell that? You know? Um so I thought maybe we could just like pull up a map, you know. Um you ever look at South Front?
I have looked South Front. I keep telling myself I'm just gonna like take 5 hours and catch up on for like the past week. It's pretty good, man. It's pretty detailed.
It is. I I'm gonna show you. I saw it first from Max Blumenthal. He put
Mm.
up a map that was on South Front, and I thought so. I started checking it like when this first all popped off because it was like just a real simple, what would you call it, summary of what's going on over there. Um, and so I would look at that real quick. But one day I decided to look at the Wikipedia for South Front, and that is incredibly funny.
Oh,
I don't know if you can see you can see this, but just let me read a little bit of this to you. Right at the beginning. South Front is a multilingual fake news website
Come on.
registered registered in Russia that, according to the European Union's EU versus Disinfo, publishes news focused on security issues, foreign policy, military analysis, and reports on military hardware while, quote, loyally relaying whatever suits the Kremlin. So they called the U.S. State Department described Southfront as part of the Russia's disinformation and propaganda ecosystem. So let's see what this is. That doesn't look TOS. The military situation in Ukraine on September 12th, 2022. So we got a map. And what was the city you were talking about? What was the name of it?
Izium. I think it's spelled Izyum.
Let's see
Or
if
maybe
I
Izium.
Izium, right there.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah. So you're on the cutting edge, Johnny. Izium. Russia struck the 93rd Mechanized Brigade of the AFU near Izium with high precision missiles. Now, the one I saw Jackson talking about was the Russians took out some power plant. Was that right? Did you see anything about that?
As far as like just last night, it appeared that in response to, you know, the Ukraine incursion into Izium and chasing the Russians out, I guess Putin decided to start bombing civilian power infrastructure in Ukraine. Yes, I did see that. Which
Yeah,
seems like a significant escalation
it
because he
does.
hasn't really been doing that.
Yeah, it seemed like he'd really tried hard not to do that. And I don't know if that's on this map or maybe it was yesterday. Maybe I'll look and see if there's one.
By the way, do you have a map up right now? Because I still just see the Wikipedia.
Oh, really? Oh, no. Oh, man. Live and learn, I guess. Ah, that sucks. Okay, hang on. I'm
Also,
glad you.
you can take my comment down. I think we've answered it.
See, I'm learning. I'm learning. Okay. Zelensky and his generals are now using pronouns to gain support. Okay. You got somebody laughing, dude. All right, let's look at this map. Share screen. There's got to be an easier way to do it. I guess I should just share my whole screen probably, but this is the map I was looking at. And I had zoomed in right here earlier to Izium. And that's why I said you're on the cutting edge, because that is literally the cutting edge. And I was trying to look on here. I was trying to look on the map for this power plant. Do you know where on the map that would have been? Because I don't.
I do not. I forget what it was called.
Let me look. See if there's one. Sometimes there's one by the day.
I mean, it seemed like the outages were widespread. Like the map I saw of power outages seemed to cover pretty much the whole country.
Yeah, I heard it was like 50% of the country had lost power.
So it must have been an important one. Whatever happened to Zaporozhye, the nuclear facility that Russia was controlling and also bombing simultaneously?
I don't know. I heard a lot about it last week, and it's kind of fallen out of the news, it seems like.
Yeah, man, things happen fast in Ukraine, I guess.
I'm trying to make sense of what this says. The Russian army withdrew from the north and northeast. Russian forces withdrew to the left bank. Did you watch that Jackson's new video on it?
I watched the beginning of the stream last night when he was talking about it. Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
He was plugging Colonel McGregor to be Trump's next Secretary of Defense. Was the major takeaway.
I like
All right.
Colonel McGregor, but
Did you already discuss potential for Marxists and MAGA to organize?
I haven't.
I don't
MAGA
want to
communism.
I don't want to get too far off topic. Yeah, MAGA communism.
No, I'd love to talk about that. I'm in the heart of that, baby. In the heart of that.
I reckon you were.
Yeah.
I'm in the heart of CIA liberal communism.
Yeah. I got a gender studies degree. I'm ready to join the CIA, right?
Yeah, I was looking at job postings today. There are a bunch from the CIA, including language professors.
Really?
I think I could hack Serbian, dude. You got to take like a polygraph and probably interview all your neighbors and stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to I don't get on Twitter very much. I guess it's because I'm probably vain, and I'd like make a tweet and like one person would like it. I was like, why do people do this? But I guess I'm not famous. That's the problem.
Dude. You got to get famous.
Hey, we're working on it. Yeah, it doesn't say it here.
Twitter's bizarre, dude. Like, how do some of these people get so many followers?
CIA, I imagine. I mean, you're in the heart of it. I just assume all time. That's why I love Garland Nixon. Like, as soon as they went after Caleb, he's like, well, that's the CIA. I mean, that's how my head goes. I mean, I think it's just naive to think otherwise. But at the same time, I think they have a lot of power and they do a lot of things. And then at the same time, I don't think they have barely any power and don't do almost anything. And I don't know how both those can be true at the same time. But because I mean, what the thing we're on now was created by the military, right?
DARPA now. Sure.
Yeah, DARPA. But at the same time, I really don't think like those are the people that bother me the most is the people that are just like black pill conspiracy theorists. Like China's in with the WEF, Putin's in with the WEF. I've never heard this one, but I'm sure there is somebody. Julian Assange is just working. He's also a double, triple agent. I mean, I'm like, I don't know.
It's a body double in jail right now.
I'm like, dude, why haven't you just killed yourself? I don't understand. You have no hope in anyone? I can't live like that. I think Julian's the real deal. I think Xi's the real deal. I think Putin's the real deal. And I think Pete Buttigieg is the real deal.
Oh, absolutely, dude.
Just kidding.
If Zelensky was a U.S. citizen, I would vote Zelensky Buttigieg 2024.
Oh boy, we gotta start our comedy podcast. Here's Orvo. Now Orvo, I was seeing Haas the other night. Was like, you all need to emulate Orvo. Orvo is the great hope. Now the weird thing with this is, this does not have the weird warning that's on my phone when I look at Orvo's page. I don't know where my phone is, but for you guys out there, look at Orvo's page on your phone, and you will see a big giant FBI logo on his page. I'm gonna run in the kitchen real quick and see if I can grab my phone. I think it's a setting in there.
Grab it.
Find it.
Yeah, I've seen these FBI stickers before. I think the phone is just, has so much more information about us somehow.
That could be it. I mean,
I
hang
remember
on.
seeing on someone's Twitter,
You
I think
keep talking.
it was that guy Joey Reck, who's like from Cuba, now lives in Ohio. He's a pretty young kid. But yeah, I went to his profile one day and it said, please exercise caution when engaging with this user, as they are known to spread communist propaganda.
I catched
I
Joey Reck and communist propaganda. I had a 2-year-old want to give me a hug. So,
Oh, well, you can't pass that up.
can you say it one more time?
Yeah, so it had one of those same banners that I think you're talking about. It might have even been from the FBI, and it was like, exercise caution when engaging with this user. They've been known to spread communist propaganda.
Yeah, I don't know if you can see it on mine, but there it is. There's Orvo's page, and
Bro,
then there's this big
I do.
use caution when engaging with this user. And then
Yeah.
I can subscribe to future FBI alerts just to know who is based on the internet. I mean, I
Keep
feel
up
like
with
who is that logo for? Like the normies? Like, I mean, to me, it's like a giant red, like this guy's telling the truth logo.
Right, exactly. I don't know. I guess just in case your fellow FBI agents are browsing Twitter, or
Yeah, I guess. Or
FBI agents' grandmas.
or you know, well, if you've watched the early infrared streams, I'm guessing if that guy's a showrunner, then he's one of like Haz's nerd friends from
Who,
what like
Orvo?
those. I don't know who Orvo is. I mean, you're awesome, Orvo. We all take our hats off to you, but I'm guessing you're one of Haz's friends from like those first 6 streams y'all did.
Uh-huh.
And it is hilarious that just if you could see the juxtaposition of like the real Orvo and then the Mecha Tanky super soldier icon, and
Mhm.
then the handler watching Orvo, and then the FBI logo. It would just be like, this is like nerdery. It really is information warfare. You know what I mean? Like,
It is, man.
none of these people are about ready to take up the gun, if you will. At least not anytime. You know what I mean? I mean, we're a ways away. It's just nerd quackery.
Man,
But I'm on Team Orvo nerd, so put me on the list. I want to get one of those slick labels on my Twitter.
there's so many of these guys with that infrared little avatar. It's a horde. I don't totally know what to make of it. I have watched a couple of Haas streams since we last met IRL.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's saying some shit. There's some shit, but man, it's just never been more true. We got to get out of the movement, off of Twitter, and to the
Well,
movies. Period.
you know, the Haas army, I'm sure. Well, Haas is off of Twitter by a ban now, but
Yeah, I heard that.
Haas. So let's go through this. Okay.
I'm listening. I'm listening.
Total disaster. Put this up, and he said Garland defended Caleb. That's good. Garland did. Garland made I support Caleb Maupin hats. You can look back on his former streams. There's I support Caleb Maupin hats, which I want one. Hinkle, I love you, Hinkle. You're young. I think you're, and I can't even hate on you for it, but I think you're more concerned with your own career, than with what the CPI was trying to do, which I don't hate on you for. I mean, we need you to get big.
Dude,
You are getting to the masses.
Hinkle's shilling like those Ron Paul Gold schemes, dude. It's pretty
Is he?
cringe.
I haven't seen that.
Man. Yeah.
I didn't like what he said about Caleb. It was on the I think it was the show that Nick's on, RGB or RBJ or whatever it is.
RBN.
And he just kind of said, like, well, I guess it's true. And I'm like, how do you know that, dude? Because I've heard I won't say exactly where, but Jackson hasn't replied to certain people's messages in a very long time. I've given, and that's the difference though. Like with Haas, I've given Haas, I've thrown some money at Haas. A lot of people throw money. I'm not expecting your help, Haas. You're 26, you're doing your own thing, man. But Caleb was quick to help a brother out. He stuck out his hand and he said, McConnell, I fully support you in what you're trying to do, and I'll help you in any way I can. Haas and Hinkle, they're doing their own thing, and they want to control their narrative, and I love them both. I want us all to work together. I really do. But as far as this comment goes, Haas, I think, largely defended Caleb. Maybe you didn't defend him as much as I wanted to, but I listened with very careful ears. And Haas was kind of on, that's Team CIA. But no one like Garland. Garland made the fucking hat, dude. Garland made
that was
the
pretty
hat,
good.
which is awesome. So,
Yeah, and the hat's just still chilling there on the table.
He might have one soon. I could see him on there.
I'm gonna tell Garland to make me a hat for when I see him on the 8th.
Yeah, have him make me one. You can mail it to me. I want one. I really wish I'd asked for Garland's number because I dig Garland, and I sure hope. I mean, I don't. Jackson and Haas, I think you guys are doing great things. Okay, but out of the movement to the masses. I will say this about you, Haas, because you made fun of teachers last night, and I'm a teacher, and if Haas taught school, he would rule that class with an iron fist. So don't start talking about us millennials feeling ourselves a little bit in the classroom. But his idea, Haas's idea, which I so hope he does, is he wants to do carnivals in MAGA country, where he sets up a carnival and he gets MAGA people to come do it. Okay, brother, I will be there. But that idea, don't you dare talk bad on Caleb or the CPI.
I worked on it.
We're doing real events that get in news work and get millions of views. When you're talking about a Trump carnival, and then you act like that's kind of cringe. You're on Team Zoomer. You're on Team Minion. I mean, Moppin was doing real boots on the ground, grassroots stuff that nobody was doing. And we need that.
It's like that time I smoked salvia. I'm just a swirl on a screen.
I'm trapped in
Hey,
ice.
there you are. Listen, I feel like this is as good a point to get back to my question of like 11 minutes ago, which is the revolutionary capacity of the MAGA movement. Go. What do you make of it? Where are we at? Where are they at?
This is a big question, so I'm just going to spitball. I'm still getting used to this. The fact that I'm going to spitball on the internet and it will be here forever. No pressure. Chuck Klosterman told me when I interviewed him once, you should keep two ideas in your mind at the same time. First is what you're about to say is the most important thing in the world. And number two, one day you'll be dead and none of it will matter. So the political capacity of the MAGA movement. I'm with Haas on this one. I think it is the only thing that has any capacity for a genuine revolution. It the problem is a problem of 75 years of Cold War brainwashing that I have very weird mixed feelings about. I have like 4 to 7 ideas about at the same time. Part of me thinks it doesn't really matter. Part of me thinks it's almost impossible to overcome. Part of me thinks it will instantly dissolve when this shit gets real. I'm already starting to see it dissolve. Like I saw Jackson did a poll today, and it said, it was like, who are you? Which ideology do you identify with the most? And it was like MAGA. I thought I took a picture. I did take a picture of it. Which represents your worldview? MAGA, Marxist, Libertarian, Other. There it is. MAGA, Marxist, Libertarian, Other. It's 25, 22, 18%.
Wow. And how much is other? Significant?
Other was
30?
35, I guess. But if you go into Other, it's like
What do you
everyone's
reckon that
like,
is? Like liberals
what'd
and
you say?
Republicans? You figure other is like Democrat, Republican voters, like other?
I would think so, or anarchist babies mainly, maybe. But I don't even that. I mean, I clicked on it and looked at the comments, and the comments were like, and it was mainly between MAGA and Marxists, and it was like the comments were like, we're not nearly divided as we think. We are united on anti-imperialism and providing for our own people and our own country. I mean, that's huge. And I kind of feel that the people in MAGA that are really willing to like get in a car and drive states away to do real political work will probably be the same people that are most willing to look past the communist Marxist label and realize that we're fighting for the same things. I think the MAGA people that will not be able to look past that label are the people that probably aren't going to leave their couch in the first place. And they're drinking a beer and yelling at their friends about what they saw on, Fox News or something. I think I can't remember what they say it takes to do a revolution. What is it? 3%? That's the 3%ers. Now we're definitely on a list. Oh well. But yeah, it doesn't take,
30%.
what do you think? What's your thoughts on it?
So hold on, just a little bit of math here. Percent. So how many Americans are there? 350 million. So like 3.5. So we're talking like 10 million people. That'd be like 3% of the whole American population. Okay. Well, here's my thoughts on the whole thing. And I've been scrolling an unfortunate amount of Twitter the last few days. So I've seen all sorts of people, including an interesting exchange between Daniel Burke and Margaret Kimberly, two people who I respect. Anyways, here's the unfortunate thing. I think a lot of people are conflating two issues, and these are definitely related. One, they're making the mistake of thinking that the whole MAGA movement is just MAGA politicians like, Trump, Marjorie Taylor Greene, etc., which, I think is stupid. I mean, all politicians are going to be opportunistic and, chameleonic to a certain extent. I don't think Donald Trump is going to do anything positive, like on purpose in any sort of concerted fashion. Maybe I'm wrong about that. Anyways, but still, politicians is not the movement. Politicians is not the people. So I think that's fallacy. Second is the mistake of thinking that just the prejudices that seem apparent in the MAGA movement and people that are MAGA are just, that's it, unchangeable. Like a total disregard for the work that still has to be done and can be done. Like, yes, MAGA people, right-wing people, Republicans, working people are confused about what communism is.
Yeah.
They're confused about what socialism is. Yes, there is still work to be done. That is not insurmountable. Hardly. these sorts of confusions are not disqualifying of 74 million American voters.
Mm-mm.
So, I'm just surprised to see really intelligent people that I respect making this mistake that seems pretty obvious. Yeah, we gotta talk to these people and kind of, you know, they're not there yet. We're not there yet. Democratic voters are not there yet.
Mm.
There's even disagreements among people that call themselves Marxists. There's
Mm.
still work that needs to be done. So I think those are the two main problems that I see with the discourse. But in general, yeah, I think we all basically want the same thing. Um, in so much as is MAGA more revolutionary right now than Democratic voters? I think in so much as they're more blue collar, for a lack
Hmm.
of a better word.
Yeah,
Um, I think that is definitely something, don't you?
I do. I do. Like I try to put myself in. I mean, I'm surrounded by MAGA. I um the local Democratic Party where I live is about 4 people in their 70s that meet in a room literally below my apartment and bring baked goods. And sometimes they'll bring in a TV and they'll play. Once they played a film trailer of some James Bond movie, but the heads were superimposed with Robert Mueller, and they had us watch that twice. And I just don't have the heart. I mean, it'd be like going into my grandma's tea room and yelling at them about how this is. I just like hopeless, you know. I just like to go in to kind of see. But as far as like what is real MAGA, it's my dad and my uncle. Um, Now, what's my dad's history? My dad was in a lead mining strike in the 80s. You know, he's not a boater. He's a former union dude. Um, my uncle, uh, he just cracks me up, man. He told me once, I mean, he's super MAGA, and he told me once, he goes, I hope AOC wins because at least she's hot. Now he's super MAGA.
Dude, there was a huge,
This is the
yeah. I
commitment
mean, I'm
to
pretty sure
politics
that's
that
what
he has.
Tulsi's movement was all about.
So there's plenty of wiggle room for these people. And I think, we got Total Disaster here. Total Disaster is a little older than us. Um, I'd say a generation up. And he says anti-communism is central to MAGA, Fox News, etc. No way they would ever entertain Marxism. The weird part of this is Total Disaster. My dad was born in 59. So how old is he? 63? Something like that. If you say the word Marxism, his head will explode. But if you say, uh, "Are you in favor of a union?" He'll say, "Absolutely." Uh, do you think Bill Gates should buy all the farmland? Absolutely not. Do you think there should be a cap on like the amount of land? I think why you need more than that. I mean, as long as you don't say the word, then he will agree on almost every single substantial Marxist point. Maybe he'll watch this and scream, Dad, you're probably watching it on your Roku. Just hop on the old box and tell me I'm wrong. But as long as you don't use these words,
Mm. What
he
What
would sometimes
about
get worked up.
nationalizing the energy industries? Like, does he think that the profits from the energy concerns should be distributed amongst the people of the country?
I think he could definitely be convinced of that. If you could convince him that it would save on his electric bill.
Now we're
I
talking
mean,
that's kitchen
he'd
table
imme-
stuff.
he'd immediately be like, "Yeah, I don't care. I don't care how they do it. You know, these damned politicians, they get enough money in their pocket, put a little bit in my, I mean, I don't, but that's the thing. I don't think it's got real yet. And I heard Caleb say that back in the day quite a bit. As soon as it gets real, as long as my uncle can take the bass boat out on Lake of the Ozarks this weekend, you know, get a little barbecue, get a little fishing in, and, you know, put in, maybe flip a house next year. As long as this is able to work. But if they can't keep up the charade, if they are truly going to try to cull 5 to 6 billion people on Earth, then yeah, MAGA will become revolutionary. Absolutely.
Well, it's funny you mentioned boating, because another thing I used to hear Caleb say all the time was you can't build an ark in the storm. When it starts raining, it's too late. So we need to get out there now with our hammers and nails. Am I right?
I think you're absolutely right. And I don't know if you've ever seen this before. We're both fans of the Duran. I love listening to my boys over there. And I don't know if you've ever seen this playlist, but check out this playlist that I found on the Duran.
I'll check it out.
I'll share it with you here real quick so you can see it. Let me share. And we'll pick right here. I saw this. They made an entire the Durancis series, Russia and the Rise of the Bolsheviks. They did it from the beginning to Lenin takes power. Can you see that?
Wait, say what?
Yeah, they did this. They did this in February.
The Tsar to abdicate. So it's really a strange situation what you have now. You know, you do have a more stable structure, a ruthless structure.
Here, let's go back just a little bit because it goes exactly with what you were saying. Let's just listen to like 1 minute of it.
Let's put it on.
On power, I think this government is going to be in power for a very long time unless it is overthrown very fast. And at the moment,
strangle that baby in his crib.
To try to overthrow it, which are being made, look extremely disorganized.
That was going to be my question, actually, is if you consider this to be a coup d'etat or, you know, a revolution. Okay, you can say it is a revolution, but if you consider it to actually be a coup, because you are looking at the overthrow or the replacement of a government that had no legitimacy to begin with, and a government that came to power by in essence, tricking the Tsar to abdicate. So it's really a strange situation we have now. You know, you do have a more stable structure, a ruthless structure, but a stable structure filling the vacuum of a structure that was completely unstable and illegitimate. You have a legitimate, stable structure filling the structure of something that was unstable and illegitimate. Is this a coup? I mean, or was this the natural progression of things?
Yes.
Because I don't want to trivialize it, but it does seem like once the Bolsheviks and Lenin had all their everything in order, all their pieces in place, the final piece, which was actually taking control of the government, came pretty easily.
It dropped into their hands. I mean, this is the thing. I mean, you're already hearing stories about the storming of the Winter Palace and vast numbers of people, you know, fighting and seizing the palace. It's been nothing like that. St. Petersburg, actually, believe it or not, has been reasonably quiet over the last couple of hours. There's this meeting of this Congress of Councils in the Smolny, which is, by the way, a former high school, but which is, you know, where Lenin has now been formally appointed.
Yeah, I just found that I found that pretty fascinating. Especially because they talk about it the same way they talk about the news that's happening today, which makes it really engaging and interesting. But a few minutes before that, they talked about how Lenin had single-handedly, not single-handedly, but with the, you know, he led it. He had organized an entire parallel government that was more stable than the real government. I mean, that's what has to be done. And if people are throwing comrades, that word is ugh. But if they're throwing the people that are supposed to help them build this thing under the bus for like one lewd, you know, thing they did on the weekend, Lenin and Stalin robbed banks together. I'm not recommending robbing banks,
Canceled.
but that takes a little
Canceled.
bit of solidarity. What, are you going to sell out your friend? I don't think they sold each other out on that one. You know? Yeah. You, well, I don't know. Total disaster. Maybe they are, you know? I haven't watched the whole series. I think they're both really intelligent, and I think I could learn things from them. I did want to highlight this from Chris. He said we were talking about MAGA being confused. He said leftists are even more confused. I think there's a lot of truth there, but I'm excited to go back and check out that series. I think there's a lot I'm going to learn from that.
Yeah, that is interesting. I mean, I wouldn't have thought Christopher would know much about that history at all, to be
They
honest.
did a like 20-hour series.
Interesting. Yeah, I should probably read some of those books first, like What is to be Done and Imperialism, the Highest Stage of Capitalism, so on and so forth. I did get through the CPI education manual with some selected readings. That was interesting. There's like, you know, an essay from Lenin, an essay from Mao. There's like a little of this, a little of that. It was some pretty good juice. Where is it?
You look for one. I'm going to look for another one. Oh, yeah. I'm going to grab my
Yeah.
show it off.
Oh, Tyler, you have such fun toys. Such fun toys.
There was a yeah, those are my baby toys. I always thought I was like, oh, I need to clean up this room or I need to do all this different stuff before I start doing it. I was like, no, dude, I'm a working class dad. That's my background, baby. But yeah, there was a good book. I know when you say PSL, people go, ooh, but I saw Brian Becker on The Real News back when they were good. And he was giving an interview on Lenin. And the PSL put out a book called Storming the Gates, which was like 100 pages. I bought it on Amazon. It was a very easy to understand introduction to the Russian Revolution. And I liked it. I mean, I'm sure people that know far more than me are going, whoa. I got a lot out of it. They talked a lot about how instrumental the Soviet Union was in the civil rights movement. You know, I learned from that book that the Soviet Union let women vote before America did. But I tell you what I really want is when Caleb comes back, I want to do an interview with Caleb where I start to get into the intricacies of how a communist party is organized for real, How does this work for real? Not some
Mhm.
some woke fake version of it. Like I want to go over to China and like be like, show me how this works from top to bottom. I'm gonna take notes. How do you make this work for real? And how do you keep it? How do you keep it legit? How do you keep it based? How do you keep woke nonsense from taking this over and running it into the ground? How do you make sure that the people who rise to the top of this organization have the hearts of the working people in their gut and are willing to die for them? How do we make sure those people are in charge and not Gloria Steinem or what's her name from the 80s that was in charge? What was her name? She was like dated
Margaret
George
Thatcher,
Jackson. No, I'm trying to think. She was like iconic, had the big fro.
Angela Davis.
Angela Davis. How do you
Yeah.
keep Angela Davis from running on the ticket and then, you know, teaching 1,000 more gender studies majors?
Dude, apparently Cornell West just had the most
Thank you, buddy.
deranged take about, supporting giving billions to Ukraine, so on and so forth the other day. Anyways, listen, you mentioned Brian Becker, and I watched a video of his and Rania Khalek, Breakthrough News, yesterday or today. Ordinarily, I love the work they do, like the stuff they're doing about, Ethiopia and just, everything. It's all good. But his take on this issue about organizing MAGA and communism, etc., was pretty muddled. And what his main thesis was the racism thing, the white supremacy thing. He's painting MAGA with this broad brush of being white supremacists. And first of all, what do you say to that charge?
That's where I get off the train, man. Are you calling my mom a white supremacist? Are
I'm
you
not.
calling my dad, my uncle, every single person I go to church with a white supremacist? Yes, you are. You're no better than Hillary Clinton, brother. Clip it. You're calling everyone that loves me, that feeds me Thanksgiving dinner, a deplorable. Get
Yeah.
on the next
I
bus out
mean,
of town, Brian Becker. You ain't going to organize where I live, brother. And you don't want to. You want us all to die, more or less. You think we're all irredeemable fascists. I don't know how you can be so right and then so wrong on the last 5 yards of the football field. It is infuriating to me.
it didn't really make sense, because literally, like, almost in the same breath, he would say, anti-imperialism is the number one issue, anti-capitalism is the number one issue, and then in the next breath he was like, if they're racist, then it's over, that's a non-starter. First of all, that's a big if.
It's
Second
a
of all,
huge
what
if.
did you just say, Brian Becker? So I'll send you the link, man, if you even want. I'm sure you can imagine it based on my summary. But yeah, it was just really weird, man, and really unfortunate. I feel like the constant urge or need to like put out content and be on social media, it just really tends to bring out the worst in people.
I think you're right. I mean, I hate watch what's that called? The Vanguard. They're the worst, man. I shouldn't put out negative energy. I pray for you guys, just like I pray for Nancy Pelosi. But your interview with Aaron Monte wanted me to stab my eyes out like some sort of like Greek tragedy and my ears, and it was one of the most painful things I've ever seen. But I mean, you guys. Just for me, like I feel I had an interesting perspective because I was raised in a town of 5,000 people in deep rural Missouri. Like you can't get where I'm at. You have to fly into. Lewis Black did a joke about it once. To get to where I live, you got to fly to St. Louis, and now you got to drive 2.5 hours. Okay. You got to drive 2 hours on the main interstate, and then you're going to have to drive about another hour on some weird back roads to get where I was raised. Okay. Okay. I mean, I just happen to be one of them readers, and I went to Mizzou Journalism School. I was there with people from France. I was there with people from China. I was there with a whole bunch of professors' kids, like 20 people from New York City, 20 people from LA. And they just thought I was some like backwoods Mark Twain hillbilly, like, and I didn't realize I had went to a conservative Christian college for undergrad, and I was like super left wing there. And then when I went to Mizzou, I realized, like, no, I don't think guns are evil. Like, no, I think this, woke gender fluidity. I mean, be whatever you want, but I don't understand why you guys are talking about this all the time. So I, I've I feel I can see it. Brian Becker is in Washington, D.C., right? Come out here, Brian. Back to the land movement. Mao figured it out. Brian Becker, work in a Boss sawmill for 5 years. Okay? And then tell me everybody that you worked with, that shared your ham sandwich with you, that took you down to the river to go fishing. Tell me all those people are irredeemable fascist racists. And you act like just, okay, there probably is some closet racism here. Sure. But I watched a black comedian drive down here to Salem, Missouri, in a room with 300 white people and make jokes about Sheets being in the car, jokes about how he was keeping the car running out back just in case, he saw a rope in the audience. And everybody was laughing. Now, is that wrong? I went up afterwards and I shook his hand and I go, dude, that was the bravest set I've ever seen. And he just kind of laughed and he's like, I do that all over the state, man. Now, I don't know what you would say about that, Brian. But if he can do that all over the state, is he really fearing for his life in rural Missouri? I was raised by these people. They, we love everybody. We might be a little weird about things that we're not familiar with, but almost everybody here goes to church and takes it, I'd say 75, 80% seriously. And a big part of going to Christian church is Jesus loves everybody. And you treat your neighbor as yourself. And that's whether they're black, white, Cuban, or Asian. Okay? That's just my 2 cents. People around me might agree. I look like most of the people here, so take that into consideration. But, Brian, I don't think we're all irredeemable, buddy, and I really don't think you're going to organize a real working class party in this country by talking like that.
No, yeah, I think you hit the nail on the head. And obviously I've been surrounded with the other extreme, like of liberal Democrats my whole life, the NPR crowd, et cetera, et cetera. But, I did live in Austin, Texas for 6 years. And yeah, MAGA people, it seemed like they would say some cringy things about race, so on and so forth.
Yeah, they will.
But, are they wearing white sheets? Are they burning crosses? Like, no.
They're not going to drag anybody out in the street. They're going to say something that they probably shouldn't have said, and they probably didn't even know that they shouldn't have said it because they've been surrounded by people who look like them. And if they moved to like a major metropolitan area for 5 years, they'd stop saying that because, it's not in their heart. It's just a weird aspect of the culture, but it's not going to lead to, like, when Brian Becker acts like it's going to lead to the Nazi party, like coming out of Arkansas. It just makes me want to vomit blood.
Exactly. No. And I think it just comes from being isolated, being ivory tower, not getting out there, not being in the masses. And here's the bigger problem. Well, then what's your solution, Brian Becker? If 74 million Americans are white supremacists, what are we going to do? Just kill them all?
I guess you're just going to radicalize the Democrats, right? Because good luck with that, buddy.
Right. I mean, that's really Yeah, the fascist woke final solution is lock up all the MAGA.
Yeah,
Lock
who's
them
the
up.
fascists? Doesn't sound like my people around me. So
I read this amazing book that Caleb recommended on a stream. It was called Fascism and Social Revolution by R. Palm Dutt. Have you ever heard about it?
I have heard of it, and I've downloaded the PDF, but I haven't read it yet. It's on my list.
Man, fire. 350 pages of smoking, blazing fire. Really cleared up what fascism is for me. Mandatory.
Every time I want to write off the British in their totality, I always find some guy like R. Palm Dutt or what's his name on the Duran? Alex Mercurius.
Yeah.
I can never say it, but I love him. I want him to say good day to me every morning.
Good day.
Good day. But yeah, there's the British working class. You guys, you're holding me down. The king and the queen are really making me go the other way, but the R. Palm Dutts keep me we'll let a few slide on the island.
Maybe he lived in England, but I got the impression he was of Indian heritage.
Oh, was
maybe
he? Okay, maybe I got it wrong. I just I think when I was like looking in a little history of him, I felt like he was in the British Communist Party, or maybe I got that wrong. I don't know.
No, if anyone's watching this, I think it was literally the most interesting book I've ever read. Nonfiction.
Really? Well, it just went straight to the top of my list.
The way he broke down exactly what the Marxist definition of fascism was and how that definition comes out of the fascist movements in the 20s and 30s in Europe, and then like goes into such sparkling detail about what happened in Germany, Italy, Austria at each moment in time, and like the recurring themes. Wow. I mean, just totally breathtaking. And of course, it feels like it could have absolutely been written today. I mean, he wrote it in 1935, and dude, I lost count of how many times he used the phrase lesser of two evils.
Really?
Oh, dude. I mean, it was horrifying.
There it is.
There it is. Yeah, I think
anybody that wants to watch it or read it. You know what? I need a good Marxist's audiobook. I don't know if there's a good one online. I like to see the book as I read it. I don't always look at it, but Harpelbrar for sure, man. Put this on here. It's in the chat if anybody watching afterwards wants to check it out. Harpelbrar is amazing from everything I've seen.
I've seen those chats with Caleb and Jody something.
Jody, yeah, I think that's his daughter. Yeah, I don't know. I was gonna look on YouTube. Let me see. Fascism and what's the name of the book? Social Revolution.
I think someone did an audio version.
Yeah, Fascism and Social Revolution.
Not to be racially insensitive, but if they read it with an Indian accent, I'm sold.
I think I did listen to some of this before. Let me see if it shows the book. It's very important to me that it shows the book as I listen to it. I just like to be able to stop it and see it. So that's not it.
Oh, well, is that a thing? Is that common on YouTube?
Yeah. Well, the first time I saw someone do it, I was like, dude, I got to do that. And that's kind of gonna be my no, that's my idea for like my really long-term content, like my evergreen content, is to record an audiobook and then show it and go back and forth between New Thought and Marxist literature.
Well, you basically did that with the book about Jesus, right?
Yeah, I'm gonna keep doing that. That's my idea.
competition, the wage system, and in fine, all that which is based upon the antagonism of classes having to
So
exist. But
I
these
really
are
like
precisely
these
the necessary
people.
conditions for the
Mhm.
development
They
of the
do
forces and of the
really high quality. They're just growing pretty big, but they do these new thought books. And when you click on it, they look like this.
Recommended.
So I'll go like, and they show the book itself. Like while it reads it, you can see
Okay.
the book. And I just don't know. I just really like that. Like to me, it feels like
Huh.
if I read it like this, it feels like I really read it. You can follow along if you want,
At this banquet of
or I usually just listen to it, and then if there's a certain part I didn't hear, I'll stop it and be like, "As for time, all men have it in abundance." Okay, I got that right. But a lot of people record, um, Marxist audiobooks online, but they don't show the book, and that's kind of a deal breaker for me. Like, I need to be able to see. I understand why they don't, because you got to go back through and edit the video, but it's not heavy. I mean, you just take screen caps and then drop it in. But maybe I'm just OCD, but I think other people would dig it. And the amount that channel is growing, it came out since they started doing that, they've got to 500,000 subscribers.
Wow.
And they just have like 9 new thought audiobooks up there. But I really do. I don't know if we've talked about that before, but like the spiritual angle, I really like New Thought. It was kind of William James stuff around the 19th, 20th century, the turn of it. It's given me a lot of spiritual. The way I define spirituality is just like what gets you out of bed in the morning, and I feel that's important with the work we want to do, as well as figuring out the nuts and bolts of how to do this in the material reality. You need the spiritual fuel, and then you need the material tool set, if you will.
Yeah, definitely. I feel like we hit on this that one night in your car with Nick.
Yeah.
We eventually came to this same conclusion. What is New Thought? Is that a technical term?
New Thought. I get it wrong, but
It's not like the New Left, is it?
New Thought was a movement in the early 19th century. Right here. I like being able to do this so you can just see what I'm looking at. In the early 19th century, New Thought was preceded by Ancient Thought, accumulated wisdom and philosophy from a variety of origins, such as ancient Greek, Roman, Egyptian, Chinese, Taoist, Vedic, Hindu, and Buddhist. They were kind of all put in through Christianity. It was a lot on like it's kind of like Emerson, transcendentalism, infinite intelligence, God is everywhere, spirit is the totality of real things, true human selfhood is divine. A lot of there's William James, and the variety of religious experience describes New Thought as follows. So let's just take a second and read this, because this will be fire, I'm sure. I love William James, America's own Sigmund Freud. For the sake of having a brief designation, I will give the title of the Mind Cure movement. There are various sects of this New Thought, to use another of the names by which it calls itself, but their agreements are so profound that their differences may be neglected for my present purpose, and I will treat the movement without apology as if it were a simple thing. It is an optimistic scheme of life with both a speculative and a practical side. In its gradual development during the last quarter of a century, it has taken up into itself a number of contributory elements, and it must now be reckoned with as a genuine religious power. It has reached the stage, for example, when the demand for its literature is great enough for insincere stuff, mechanically produced for the market, to be to a certain extent supplied by publishers, a phenomenon never observed, I imagine, until a religion has got well past its earliest insecure beginnings. One of the doctrinal sources of mind cure is the Four Gospels. Another is Emersonianism, so that's Ralph Waldo Emerson, who I really dig, or New England Transcendentalism. Every day I do a little short from Emerson's complete work, so that's what those come from. Another is Berkeleyan idealism. Another is Spiritism with its messages of law and progress and development. Another, the optimistic popular science evolutionism, of which I have recently spoken. And finally, Hinduism has contributed to strain. The most characteristic feature of the mind cure movement is an inspiration much more direct. The leaders in this faith have had an intuitive belief in the all-saving power of healthy-minded attitudes, such as in the conquering efficacy of courage, hope, and trust, and a correlative contempt for doubt, fear, worry, and all nervously precautionary states of mind. Their belief has, in a general way, been corroborated by the practical experience of their disciples, and this experience forms today a mass imposing in amount. So this part right here, the all-saving power of healthy-minded attitudes, courage, hope, trust, and a contempt for doubt, fear, and worry. And that to me is what makes it powerful. And a lot of Marxists will hold up their nose at it because it's spiritual. But if you don't think we have a problem in this country, in this Western world, I heard on the Duran, they were talking a little bit about that the other day, the return of tradition. And I feel in a socialism with American characteristics, one of the defining spiritual movements in America was the New Thought movement. That's where like the book Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill came from, which Kendrick Lamar says in one of his early rap songs. He's like, I'm reading Think and Grow Rich and trying to know God. I'll paint that picture. Money flow like water. I'll just set at the dock. It's still a force in the culture. And I feel one of the main problems with a lot of the left is this total hopelessness. Like Brian Becker, Amy Goodman, like the world's about to boil. There's no hope. You can never win over these irredeemable racists. But I don't know. I just feel that it's a strain that I'm very interested in. It helps me get out of bed in the morning. It helps me not put a gun in my mouth and pull the trigger. And if it helps me, I think it could help somebody else, So that's kind of my thesis, is that as a spiritual basis. There's all these classic, amazing works in the American corpus of those New Thought books. And yeah, and then go back and forth between that and Marxism.
So did New Thought influence Marxism or vice versa at all?
Well, it really hit its kind of like its zenith where the two met forces in the early like 20th century, like Wallace Wattles, like that audiobook that's on my page. In that audiobook, it's really like they're socialists. They're calling themselves socialists, but they're also writing New Thought books. Like Wallace Wattles wrote The Science of Getting Rich, which if you're like me and you were raised surrounded by poverty in a Christian conservative domain, it was very helpful for me to hear that. And very it's kind of like when I heard of Deng Xiaoping say, to be rich is glorious. It was a similar feeling. Like I'd been poisoned by a form of Christianity that was like, there's something in poverty that is beautiful. And same in communism, socialism. There, we want, there's something in Pol Pot, crush all the glasses. Poverty is beautiful. And Wallace Wattles kind of helped me break out of the two of that there.
Right. Yes. It's been irking me a lot lately how people have this idea that communism is top-down enforced austerity and poverty. And this book is really promulgating that thesis, but I'm reading it because I love the Balkans. Do you feel
What book
that
is it?
it's called
Oh,
It's
okay.
by Robert D. Kaplan. He's a journalist
Ah,
who also writes for the Atlantic and the New Republic.
I'll have to check it out. What were you gonna ask me though?
Yeah. Do you think that Mother Teresa played too much into this problem that you just mentioned about like celebrating poverty or like
Well, I'll be honest. I don't
wanting
know a
people to be
whole.
poor, so on?
I'll be honest. I don't know a whole lot about her. Um, I know Hitchens called her out for something. I don't know if it was racism or. I know that. I don't know a whole lot about her. You could probably teach me a thing or two about her, honestly. Do you think that's where it comes from?
No. Well, no, I mean, it's just what you were just talking about, like this warped view of Christianity as, somehow like poverty is good or, um, I just remember some critiques, and maybe Christopher Hitchens was one of them, that, Mother Teresa, she would go and she would, help the poor, but she wouldn't like help organize them. She wouldn't help rise from their conditions or critique the system of poverty.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, she was enjoying like the best hotels, the best food, so on and so forth. Um, whatever. This is some article I read like 12 years ago, but I was like, that's very interesting. So I don't
Were
know.
you were you raised Catholic?
No, not at all.
No. I
We're
remember
Christmas
you
Easter family.
I remember you sent me that picture of
My
Evo
father's
Morales and the
mother
Pope.
was, yeah, that was big as shit. My father's mother was Methodist, pretty practicing. And, my mother came from Serbia, so she was raised Orthodox, but they weren't like, super devout, I don't think.
Mm.
So we went to 2 Christmases and 2 Easters growing up. That was about it.
My dad never had a church. He was like a traveling evangelist. It was like, if your preacher was running out of steam, they'd bring my dad in out of the bullpen for a few Sundays, and he'd do some
Oh,
fire
pinch
and some
hitter?
brimstone. It was funny to see all the preachers growing up because there was the fire and brimstone guy, the guy that scared the ever loving Jesus out of you, and that was a thing. People like that, like, whoa. And then there was the funny preacher, and that was my dad. He'd make all the jokes and make everybody laugh. And I actually did stand up with my dad. I might have to put that on my channel sometime, but we roasted each other, and I got him to do it. I told him Sam Kinison used to be a preacher, and I was like, Dad, stand up is just like preaching, except you don't have an altar call at the end. And he's like, son, I'm doing it. That sounds amazing. And he did a great job. So it's pretty cool.
Didn't Bobcat Goldthwait used to be a preacher? Or no, Sam Kinison.
Sam Kinison, yeah. That was my big joke with my dad. Was I said, well, I go, what's that comedian that he was like a preacher and then he died and they're like Sam Kinison. I go, yeah. My dad's just like him, except he's even more tragic because he didn't die in a car accident and instead he moved in with me. And everyone's like, but me and my dad's roast for me was he goes, my son used to run around the house and say, Daddy, am I awesome or fantastic? And I'd say, no, you're autistic. And he's like, how many times have I told you, son? 244 times, Daddy. We had a lot of fun. So don't cancel me, YouTube.
Good on you, Mr. McConnell.
Roasting each other. Do what, brother?
Good for Mr. McConnell. Does he still live with y'all?
No, he has a very interesting story. I need to interview him sometime, but I know as soon as I get him on camera, everybody will just want more Gary. But his spirit kind of broke in that mining strike in the 80s. He went all in on it, and then after that, he just kind of did odd jobs. I talked about it on one of my Based in the Woods streams once, but he started preaching in southern Louisiana, and a lot of people would think my dad's irredeemable MAGA, right? But he was in a church down there, and they asked him. They approached him in this rural church and said, "You're getting too many black babies in the nursery." And my dad was dating a black woman, and so for the next revival, he invited her all black choir to come and do the music in this like super little racist country church, and he just marched up and down the aisles preaching about hypocrisy, and they immediately fired him, and then he moved in with me. And so while he lived with me in grad school, and that's when we did the stand-up comedy thing. But it took us 2 years to get him on mental disability because he had worked in death row in ADSEG, and he had witnessed like a fellow CO, like a mother of two, be shanked to death on death row, and he just couldn't work after that. He's like, they wouldn't give him mental leave, so finally they denied him uh, mental whatever it's called. They denied him the first time, and then I had to fight, and we had to get a lawyer together, and it took 2 years. Finally, they got him in front of the judge. The judge apologized to him on behalf of the state of Missouri, and now he lives in disabled housing across town, and he doesn't live in his car anymore, which is a godsend and a real blessing. And I was able to help my dad out with that, but that might still be why I haven't finished my thesis, because at the time I was working on helping my dad out, and I don't think that's a story that many of the liberal professors' kids had to deal with at journalism school, like me. But I like to think in the long run that I'll have better stories and maybe do some actually beneficial work for the working class. But we'll see.
What was the thesis?
I changed it a few times. At first, it was on the power of satire, and I just couldn't get that to go anywhere. And so I'm gonna do it on the history of my dad's mining strike here at AMAX in the '80s, and try to figure out, try to actually like make something useful. Interview a lot of the old timers around here, and try to figure out what went wrong. You know, what could have saved the strike, and write all that up. So that's what I'm gonna do when I get around to it.
Whoa, that would be big stage. So it didn't work out. They closed the mine or what?
Well, they broke the strike, and then they ended up selling the company in sort of like a junk bond liquidation, kind of like Warren Buffett did in the 90s. He hides that part of his career, but you know, it's like Gordon Gekko and Wall Street, that kind of a thing. You run a company into the ground and then buy it for pennies, and they turned it into Doe Run, which is the lead mine now here, and it is non-union, and most people around here work there in the lead mine for 25 bucks an hour, which is about $5 to $10 more an hour than you can get anywhere else here. But you know, we're all constantly worried about our kids having lead. There's no union. I think I said that. And one of my friends, his dad was crushed down in the mine a couple of years ago. He was scaling the top, and a block of lead fell off and crushed him. I think he got a decent settlement out of that, but they had to fight every step of the way for that. So it's a dangerous gig, and you know, it's been here for years. It's the main source of employment. The town where I was conceived was literally called Boss, Missouri, and it was named after the boss of the mine. So I used to joke that Marshall Mathers ain't got nothing on my white trash upbringing. So
Town's just called Boss, huh?
Just Boss. Where you live in Boss, trailer in Boss, gravel road. But
yeah.
Anyway, man, I could talk to you all. I could talk to you all night, man. We'll have to do it again. Thank you so much for dropping by. I'm gonna go hop in bed so I can get up and teach the young minds tomorrow.
Oh, is it that time already?
It's
no more Walmart?
There. No, well, I'm doing both. I teach school, teach high school English, and work at Walmart for an extra you know, a few $100s a month. Try to pad my investment account and escape. If you don't have capital, you can't be free in capitalism, baby. Thank you, Total Disaster.
Yeah.
I'm gonna leave on your very nice.
TD.
Yeah, where did he
Heck
say
yeah.
up here? He said, "I'm so glad I found this channel. I'm really enjoying it. We love you, Total Disaster. I love. I think Johnny's what? Are you about 5 years older than me, Johnny? Something like that. We got
Mhm.
a Total Disaster in
Yes,
here.
sir.
He's got about 20, 25 years on us, and I love we're all in here together, trying to build a better world together. So I love you, man. Let's do it again. I'm gonna try to do one a
Yeah,
week.
dude.
So anytime you want to drop by, I had a great one with Sam. I had no idea what would go on, and I got Johnny, and it was beautiful too, man. Thank you so much.
Let's go.
All right, I love you,
All
buddy.
right, I hit the notifications bell, so I'll be in here. Love you.
All right, take care, man.
Peace,
We'll see you next
comrades.
time. Peace out.
Later. Yeah.
All right, guys. Total Disaster said it all. 6 after 10. If I'm not in bed by 10 as a school teacher, I start really regretting my life. So I'm going to go brush my teeth, snuggle in bed with my babies and my beautiful wife. And I'll catch you all next week. I love you all. Peace out, comrades. There, I'll say it.